Now let's talk about who should be the beneficiary of your land trust. We just had a client who called the other day and said, hey, I said I wanted to have my LLC as a beneficiary of my trust to protect me from lawsuits. But you made me the beneficiary of the trust. I want you to change that. And we said, I know you did. But did you turn to the page entitled Assignment of Beneficial Interest, where your beneficial interest in your trust was assigned to your LLC? Now there's a reason for why we do what we do. So yes, if you have a rental property, and again I say rental property, not your personal residence, it is good to have an LLC as the beneficiary of your land trust. That way it can protect you when somebody sues you, to protect you from that lawsuit jumping over into your personal life and taking away your bank account and your personal residence and your other real estate and your cars and so on. Plus, when somebody does sue you personally, there are provisions in the laws of many states to prevent someone from taking that LLC away from you and everything inside of it, especially the property inside the LLC/land trust. However, if you own real estate, do not make the LLC the initial, and I emphasize initial, beneficiary of the land trust. It's like the girlfriend of one of our associates here. She bought a brand new $40,000 diesel pickup truck. The first time she ever went to the gas station, she filled it up with gasoline instead of diesel. Well, that was a $10,000 mistake, pretty much destroyed the engine. So hey, you can squirt gas into the diesel engine, and you can put your LLC as the initial beneficiary of your land trust, but it's going to cost you. And here's why. Number one reason why you don't make the LLC the initial beneficiary of the land trust is the mortgage. Have you ever heard of the due on sale clause? The due on sale clause is in just about every mortgage today. The Garn-St. Germain Depository Institutions Act of 1982 did two things in this context. First, it made the due on sale clause federally enforceable. I remember back when I started investing in real estate in the 80s, the first thing we would ask the sellers is the mortgage assumable? If they got the mortgage before 1982, the seller could just sign the property over to us and we could just start making the payments on the existing mortgage. Maybe we would pay a little extra to the seller, or maybe the seller was in financial trouble and they would just hand it over to us and walk away. We wouldn't have to go out and get a new loan. We would just make payments and there was nothing the bank could do about it. It was pretty cool. But now if you do that, the bank will rip the rug from right underneath you. If you change the title to somebody who didn't take the loan out, the bank will call the loan and force you to pay off the entire balance immediately. And if you don't, they can foreclose on you and take the property back. So you just can't transfer the property to somebody willy-nilly anymore. Second, the Act said if you have 1 to 4 dwelling units, that is a single-family home, duplex, triplex, or fourplex, you can transfer the property into this type of trust and there's nothing the bank can do about it. They can't invoke the due on sale clause. And now here's the kicker. As long as the person who was untitled before is a beneficiary of that trust. So get it? So that's the second reason under the Garn-St. Germain Act that you want to have yourself as the initial beneficiary of the trust. So if the bank wants to see the trust, you can show them the trust and there's nothing they can do about it. And then on a second piece of paper called the Assignment of Beneficial Interest, you simply assign that beneficial interest in the trust to an LLC, and you can have your lawsuit protection and asset protection. So that is reason number one why we don't make the LLC the initial beneficiary of the trust. And instead, we assign it later. So you don't have a problem with the mortgage. That's number one. Now, reason number two that we don't make your LLC the initial beneficiary of the trust is your real estate taxes. First, when you transfer a property into the trust, the county often wants to see a copy of the trust. Now, they don't generally record the trust in the public records, but they want to make sure that you are the beneficiary of that trust. When you are, they don't reassess the property and jack up your property taxes. Second, most counties charge an excise tax when you transfer a property from one party to another. You are not that LLC, and that LLC is not you. In many counties, that LLC is considered another party altogether. In New Jersey, for example, the excise tax to transfer a piece of real estate from one person to another, as of this date, is 1.35%. In Washington State, it's 1.28%. So for a $1 million property, that's $13,500 in New Jersey, $12,800 in the state of Washington, $7,000 in Florida, $10,000 in New York, and $12,500 in Connecticut. And some states waive this or reduce it if the same person who owned the property also owns the LLC, and some don't. So the key thing is, what you don't know can kill you financially. Have things done professionally. It's cheap to have a draft of land trust, but it gets really expensive if it's not done right. In Texas, for example, if the deed is written wrong, you can lose your homestead protection. I mean, what if you have a $2 million home free and clear in Texas? You get sued and you lose $2 million because you're trying to save a few bucks on a land trust. Hey, you're not going to do heart surgery on yourself, so don't trust everything you own to an amateur. And hey, unless you do this professionally, you're an amateur. I don't work on my own car. I don't mow my own lawn. In these areas, I'm an amateur. I'd rather pay a professional who knows what the heck he or she is doing, just my opinion. So for those reasons, if you owned the property before, we name you as the initial beneficiary of the trust. Now, this part is very important. If it is your personal residence, that is your primary residence where you actually live, we leave you as the beneficiary of the trust. We do not assign that beneficial interest to an LLC because it could kill your tax benefits. Those are things like possibly your ability to write off your mortgage interest or not paying taxes on a huge portion of your profits when you sell your home. So do this right, and you could get, say, $500,000 of tax-free profit when you sell. Do it wrong, and you could get slapped with an income tax bill on $500,000, for example. And you ever try to fight the IRS? Good luck. It's not an easy battle. And those are just two examples of where doing it wrong can cost you that I've seen over the 30 years I've been doing this. I could go on and on, so make sure your land trust is set up right. Now, for your rental properties, however, we first name you as the initial beneficiary of the trust, or you and your spouse if both of you initially own the property. Then we provide a second piece of paper that is not attached to the trust, called, as we said, the assignment of beneficial interest. And that is where we list the LLC. Say another LLC in Wyoming or an LLC in the state where your property is located, and we assign the beneficial interest in the trust to that LLC right there on the separate piece of paper. So if a lawsuit comes knocking and someone subpoenas your documents, you show them both the land trust plus the assignment of your beneficial interest to your LLC. And hopefully you did that assignment way before the bad thing happened. The personal injury on your property, the tenant dispute. Two sisters, Ann and Christina, bought 10 rentals in San Francisco. The tenants were not happy with the owners, and a lawsuit resulted in a 163-page ruling against the hardworking landlords, along with a $3.5 million judgment, plus $500,000 in legal fees. So do things right. Put each property into a separate land trust, assign the beneficial interest in those land trusts on separate pieces of paper to separate LLCs. The land trust provides privacy of ownership and allows you to transfer mortgaged property. Then each LLC provides a separate cubbyhole to protect you from lawsuits. Now, don't go around blabbering to the tenants that you own the property. You're just the manager, right? Your land trust owns the property. You assign that beneficial interest in your land trust to properly structured LLCs. Then you have a totally separate LLC, that is one LLC, that serves as trustee for all of your land trusts. So if you have 15 properties, you have 15 land trusts. You have 15 LLCs, one per property, except for your personal residence. Then you have one separate LLC that serves as trustee for all of your properties. You only need one LLC to serve as trustee. Then someone attacks your land trust, the liability flows right through to the LLC, and that LLC provides a barrier so they cannot attack you personally. And because each property has its own land trust and LLC, a lawsuit on one property doesn't create a domino of liability onto all of your other properties and to your personal assets. So to review, if you owned the property before, who is the beneficiary of that land trust? That's right, it's you. If it was you and your spouse, the land trust beneficiary will be you and your spouse. Somebody asks to see that trust, there you are. Then what do you do next? If it's your personal residence, nothing. you leave it as is. But for your income property, you take a separate piece of paper called an assignment of beneficial interest and assign your beneficial interest in the land trust to one LLC per property. Now, if you need help, give us a call. Be sure to click like, subscribe, and watch our other videos. This is The Business Guy.